Hello everyone. Hello dear English learners, English users, English speakers, everyone who can hear me, who's joining right now. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me well, if you can see me well, because we want to make sure everything's working properly this time. I'm Anatoly, an accent coach from AmericanAccent.ru, the author of the American Accent program for Russian speakers. And today we're going to have a little workshop on the most common pronunciation mistakes that Russian speakers make. Everybody who's joining, let me know if you can hear me well, if you can see me well. I want to see the pluses in the comments, if it's all working properly. Last time we had some technical issues, so yeah, we want to make sure that everything's fine. Hi, how's it going? How's it going? Everything's okay. Hello. Awesome. That's pretty freaking good. Hello, proper English community. What have you been up to? So, hey you guys again. I'm Anatoly, an accent coach and the author of the American Accent program for Russian speakers that teaches you guys to sound like native speakers. And today I wanted to give you all guys a little workshop on how to fix the most common pronunciation mistakes that Russian speakers make, okay? So, guys, I do have a list of things that I'm going to talk about today, but before we jump into that, I'm pretty sure there is something that you guys have been struggling with, right? So, I want to hear from you in the comments, what are your personal pronunciation mistakes that you struggle with, that you can't get rid of, or you simply do not understand how the stuff works? So, let me know in the comments. Hi, Beard. Sound and video are okay. That's awesome. That's just awesome. So you guys, has there been anything that you've been struggling with, probably felt frustrated about, when you had to repeat yourself, people couldn't understand you, maybe you got laughed at, it seemed funny to someone? A very interesting concept. Hey Chris, remember your comments in my videos. So you guys, if there is anything that you personally are struggling with, we're probably going to talk about it today. Maybe it's on the list. So, right, waiting for your replies. Before we start, why would you ever want to consider replacing your accent or work on your accent? Why would you ever want that? So the advantages that accent coaching gives you. First, it all starts with people just want to get themselves understood better, right? But it's just the top of the iceberg. Because when you start speaking more clearly, you start believing in yourself better, right? You speak more confidently, and that means that you are going to communicate more effectively, you speak more confidently with people, and there are better chances of you getting into a more comfortable conversation with native speakers and even learners of English, because a lot of people use authentic materials when they learn English. I have trouble pronouncing the sub sign in Russian. Okay, Chris, that's another course. That's definitely for another course. TH is difficult to pronounce properly. Intonation. All right. Intonation, that's the problem. Zavisla. All right. If it's actually, where are you from? I love your accent. I'm from Russia, from Moscow. All right. So I got, TH. TH is the first thing we're going to talk about. That's actually the most common thing. Russian. Yeah, I am Russian. So, I am Russian. I'm not perfect at my American accent, I guess. No one is perfect, except for Chris. But there's a lot I can help you with. So, we're going to do. There are basically two categories of the most common mistakes that Russian speakers make. First are the sounds that we don't have in our language at all. So what we do, we replace them. We replace the sounds that exist in Russian. Okay, other way around. We exist the sounds that exist in English with the sounds we do have in our language. Because we just can't pronounce them, we didn't learn them properly, and it's just easier to do, right? So the first thing is, yeah, it's TH. And you guys have been struggling with it a lot, I'm pretty sure. Like, even my English teachers in school, they were like really bad at it. So here's what it is. There are two versions of the TH sound, right? The voiced and the voiceless one, the th and the sound. The problem here is that you're actually pronouncing different words. You're pronouncing other words when you say them improperly. So, simple word, thank, as in thank you. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys say sank or even tank, but that's another word, right? So, other examples of what might happen if you pronounce it incorrectly. Instead of think, I have a lot of friends. When I speak English, it's going to sound like sink. And sink is just a completely different action. I think this is right. Next comes the theme, which becomes team or seam. Depends on the person. Bass or bat is what you say instead of a bath. Or mass and mat instead of math. Tenths instead of tenth, which is a completely different thing. And the word thing, right, which sounds like sing if you pronounce it incorrectly. So what happens basically, it's a very, very simple thing. It's like so simple actually. And a lot of you guys, I'm pretty sure you can say it, and you've said it before, but only when you got corrected, right? So it's like just kind of getting lazy when you speak. But still, like, this creates kind of confusion when you say it this way. And if you say it a lot, there's one trick to comfortable conversation. When you talk to people in another language, everyone has their own concept of kind of a standard speech in their own language. And when you meet those expectations, you meet those requirements of that standard, people feel comfortable talking to you. They don't have to concentrate on like, okay, this is another thing, this was said differently, and they're just completely comfortable. And they think of you as one of them, right? So this is what happens. So the TH sound, basically what you do, right? You replace it with the S sound, which sounds really similar, but here's the problem. You keep your you keep your tongue behind your teeth, right? It's right there, and you do it to produce the S sound. What you have to do instead is to open your mouth a bit and put your tongue between your teeth, just a little, just the tip of your tongue. You pull it out a bit. You don't have to stick out completely because it makes it harder to speak, but this is what you do. So instead of s, you go, this is it. You don't have to tense all your facial muscles as a lot of people do, and this is it. This is so simple. So instead of going, I think, you just go, I think. It's right here. You just blow out the air, and this is what happens. My dad actually hates American accent. And every time I speak, he's like, this is not a sound. This is not a language. Like, in a way that it sounds an original. Russian accent, totally well. Indian accent, totally well. Right. Clearly, I can't say this word, especially in big phrases. Clearly. When you have problems with a particular word, it's a good idea to try to break it down into syllables, right? So I'm pretty sure you can say clear. You just add the ending after you said the word, and you get clearly. And then you try to make this pause between the different parts of the word smaller and smaller, and this is what happens. Clearly. In Russian, okay, reading the comments. Krasavchik. Then that together, right? Do you speak in Russian? I do, and actually the course, the full program for Russian speakers is all in Russian because they're different people. Not everyone can understand it. I can't pronounce properly. I ordered side order for my burgers because there are a lot of R sounds. Yeah, R sound is something we're gonna do. We don't have any same sounds in Russian English. Yeah, sort of. Actually, there is one. and that's what I teach after all the research I've done. There's one sound that is totally similar. It's the B sound, right? So the B sound, you don't have to work on it. But all the other sounds, they're sort of different. Even the S and Z, everything. You're gonna find some differences. Okay, so the TH, right? So the first thing you do is you stick out your tongue. You open your mouth, you stick out your tongue a little bit, and you put the tip of your tongue between your teeth. And this is it. Problem solved. It's really easy. But the thing is that you might go like, okay, I don't want to work in my accent. Like, it's fine to have an accent. Yeah, it is fine. But here, you're just pronouncing a completely different sound that does exist in that language too. But you just, yeah, why would you do that? And it's like, yeah, any accent has its own sort of important parts, right? There's vocabulary, there's grammar, there's pronunciation, and the more you take, the more you get, right? There is a voiced version of the sound, which is the th sound, and it's exactly the same. The mechanics of producing the sound is exactly the same. You just add your voice, the vibration of your voice that you bring in here. So instead of going th, you go th, right? This is it. Try to say those. Those. It's the first example for the sound. Those. Instead of zos and does. Then we have then. Then. Don't try to rush. Just, take your time. Then. Try to feel it. Try to feel it in your mouth. And every time you produce the same sound, try to go back to that feeling again, to the motion and to the position you had in your mouth. Then. A lot of people say zen, right? And zen is like what you find within yourself. When you're in harmony, you meditate, you find your zen, right? Then. Next comes mother. Mother. This is going to be more difficult. We have an R here. R. Mother. Mother. From another brother. Cloth. Cloth. So we're going to try it in different words, trying to see if it's more difficult in some of them or easier. Clothes. This is what you say a lot of times. Cloth. Cloth. Breathe. Breathe. NG sound is also difficult. Yeah, it is. It's not on this list, but it is pretty difficult for a lot of people. Breathe. Now, let's try to practice the word pairs we have here. Oh, it's not the word pairs. Yeah, it's just the words. Word pairs are on the other slide. With, it's the th sound, right? So the first one we practiced, with. Yeah, it's gonna be a surprise, but the sort of infinitive form of this word is with the voiceless one. Sometimes it's with, but it's with. With something. Something. Why people from abroad say Mother Russia? I don't know. I don't say Mother Russia. Something. Mother Russia is cool. Health. Chris, if you're still here, why do you say Mother Russia? Health. Health. Earth. Try to say it with me. That's the practice. Earth. Thursday. Thursday. By the way, guys, if you check out my page on VK, I read a little article. Well, I just made a little research and read an article about the weekdays, right? And did you know that Thursday is actually the day of Thor? Yeah, the Thor from Marvel movies. It's Thursday. It's today, by the way. Hi. Third month. Third month. Again, for the sake of practice, you may stick it out a little bit more, right? But actually, when you speak, don't bite your tongue out. Don't bite it off. How long have you been learning English? Oh, I don't know. It's hard to count. I've been teaching English for 4 years, I guess. 4 or 5, something like that. But learning, yeah, I don't know. That's been a long time. Both methods. I like that one. Both methods. What is that? All right, Thursday. Yeah. The sound. Why do we have his here? I don't know. Anyway, that. Weather. No weather. Weather. Brother. They. Really simple words. We use them all the time. They. And the. There are 2 possible ways to pronounce this word. The and the. Right? It all depends on the word that comes after. So if it starts with a vowel, you say the, like the earth or the actor, because it's easier to connect them, to link them together. But if it comes with if it starts with a consonant, you just say the, like the mother, the breath, whatever. Also, when you want to emphasize this article, and we rarely do that, but sometimes we do emphasize the article, you say the, like this is the coach, this is the course. You want to say that it's the only one. So that's the reason. All right, so this was the TH. There's more work in the full course, but actually it's that simple. I'm pretty sure a lot of you learned it just now. All right, what do we have next? R, the R sound. This is what R sound looks like in the International Transcription, R. I think I should turn off that cam. Right? Yeah, okay, that's much better. So the R sound. That's like a typical Russian accent, right? When you say the R, right? A lot of you guys say that, I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. The R is the rolling R or a trilled R. So what we do is with trill, you touch your gum ridge, which is the upper part of your mouth, with your tongue and create a trill, right? So you go like, right? Something's going on there. There's this vibration. And yeah, it's pretty cool to do that. Native speakers of English cannot, if they haven't learned Spanish, for example. Yep, the sound are pretty difficult in some words. Who yours they? Yeah, so what we do instead of doing this trill, instead of rolling our R's, what we have to do, are you English? I'm not English. What we have to do is, I think I need to go back to the camera, to the main one. Okay, so what we do is we curl our tongue back in our mouth, and it doesn't touch anything in there. So you go like, right? If you can see the tongue, it goes back, right? So the tip of your tongue is curled back, and it doesn't touch anything. You don't touch your gum ridge, and you don't produce the trill. You don't roll your R. Instead of going, you go like, right there. So if you look closely, you see the back of my tongue, right? That's because I curled it back, right? So this is what it looks like, basically. Wait. Right. You can think of a dog roaring, of a roaring dog. Everyone's played that game, right? When you try to make the sounds that animals do. Right, and you just say whatever. Think of a dog. Think of a dog. Try to exaggerate that sound for the sake of practice. Go like try to roar. This is a very good mental trick. Think of a dog, and you get a perfect R sound. There are actually 2 ways to produce the sound, but I'm only good at one. So Anyway, let's try the examples. For the sake of practice, you can exaggerate the way you are saying it. So instead of going just run, you could go like run, right? Because you're practicing right now. It's okay to exaggerate, and then you learn how to speak more natural, how to lay back and be relaxed and all. But for the sake of practice, you may exaggerate. So you go like run, run. You don't go like run, right? It's even hard for me to say. Run. You also can sort of, wait, do we have it here? No, we don't. Run. Next one, where the R is at the beginning of a word. Rest. Rest. You may exaggerate, go like rest. Rest. Think of a roaring dog. Right. That's right. You may try to put your mouth in a position for the W sound, for the W sound. So when you do that, it helps you pronounce the R. You know, as strange as it sounds, but it does help a lot. A lot of my students made a lot of progress with that trick. So think of a W sound, of the W, and say the R, R. So you curl your tongue back, and then you think of the W sound, the position you need for producing that sound, and you say the R, R. This is one of the tricks. Like there's a lot of tricks. Some people need only one. Some people need more than one. Some people need some, I don't know, private classes. But still, it works differently for everyone. But we have a lot of them. So one of them or a few of them are going to work for you. That's for sure. So run, rest, right. Now we have, in the following examples, we have the R sound, not the beginning of a word, but in the middle of a word, right? And yeah, you guys say it like really, really harshly. So bring, bring. We don't go like bring, right? Bring. It sounds so different when you say bring, right? Bring. Proud, proud. It's going to be more difficult. I'm pretty sure it's going to be more difficult. It's not at the beginning of a word, so it's going to be more difficult because we have other sounds that affect the way we sound. Proud, friend, friend, my friend, my dear friends, dear friends. Okay, and I'm going to appear on the screen again. All right. Program, program. Okay. Form, form. Now we have it after a vowel sound. Form. Part, part. Morning, morning. And here's a trick. So here's one of the main differences between British and American English. I mean, the accents, right? That in British accent, you drop the R in the middle of a word or the end of a word. So in British accent, you've probably heard it a lot. You would say foam or pot or morning. Good morning. So it's okay to say that. That's one of standard versions. But still, if you want to go American, you don't drop the R's. There are certain dialects even in America that do drop the R, but yeah, like that's more standard, general American English. Form, part, morning, corn, torn, the same thing. So if you were able to say it once, try to stick to that, right? Try to get back to that feeling, to the position that you had. Try to remember it. Pronunciation. Yes, pronunciation. What's the topic, guys? Yeah, it's pronunciation. So next comes the R at the end of words. And again, British and American English. British and American accents are different here. So we drop the R. In British English, we say mo, fa, he, mother, and stuff like that. I'm totally okay with British accent, but that's not what we're learning here. More, far, her, mother. Okay, these ones are going to be harsh. River, you have two R sounds here. River and mirror. Mirror. Yeah, that's like really difficult. It's like a long R sound with a little of in there. Mirror. This is going to be difficult. But still, there are certain levels of improvement. So first you start with simple words, then you go for river or mirror. Okay, guys, how was it? I mean, were we able to say all the words? Were there any words that were particularly difficult for you? Let me know. That's always interesting to know what people are struggling with, how we can help them better. And G, burgers. You may try the word burger, by the way. Burger. I want a cheeseburger. Okay, reading your comments, guys. I think you should add some pictures about tongue positions. Yeah, there's certainly some pictures in a full course. It's far more well prepared. This is just a little short workshop on the most common pronunciation problems. But yeah, we could add it here too. Nice idea. Why is the sound upright down in the brackets? Yeah, well, it's one of the versions to write it down. I mean, it's like one of the official ones. This is actually what it is. Hey, my video is still loading. Not sure if it's my connection or what. I got the same thing here. Teaching the wrong accent. Chris O'Connor. Well, like, okay, why would you ever want to learn American accent, not the British accent or any other one? So all accents are fine, even Russian accent is fine. It's just that there are basically three standard versions of English pronunciation. General American one, or North American one. Canadians also speak almost like that. British received pronunciation and Australian standard accent, right? And of course, it all depends on what your situation is. You might be going to Britain, right? And that makes more sense to try to learn the British pronunciation tricks in order to communicate effectively around the Brits, right? But American English is far more popular now, right? It's the language of business, it's language of movies, right? The dominance of American media, it's all around, right? So yeah, it's one of the reasons. You guys have probably heard of Dmitry Petrov, right? The host of Polyglot show on the Culture TV channel. And yeah, that's what he said. That's his words. You may check out the website. We have his quote at the beginning of the website that it's a much more popular accent, and the British one is like more exotic now. It's still cool. It's pretty cool. And Americans like the way Brits sound, but you know, it's just that it's like more understandable around the world. The word particularly, would you be so kind to repeat for a few times? Okay, particularly. Actually, if you listen closely, a lot of people drop the R here. They say particularly. But yeah, if you speak clearly, yeah, it's just gonna sound like that. Particularly. Particularly. Would you please restart it? Nah, video is not working. Video is not working, the guys are saying. Okay, then we're going to try the webcam, right? All right, we're trying the webcam now. Okay, I hope this is going to work. So we've just covered the R sound, right? The R sound is a symbol, a part of typical Russian accent. We do say the r, right? So the main tip here is do not try to produce the trill in your mouth. You're not supposed to touch anything with your tongue when you produce the R sound. You just curl it back in order to make this roaring sort of sound. It's right there. My dad would say it's not even a sound. All right. So what else do we have here? So, okay, the H. The H is one of the sounds that I want to talk about today. So what's the problem with the H, right? We can all say hello or hey, hi, right? The problem here is that, and it's one of the typical mistakes that Russians make. It's a very harsh sound that we have. Like it's kind of confusing. We do have the H sort of sound in Russian, but it's so harsh. It's like I don't know what's going here. It's like, oh my God. So a typical Russian would say hello, hey, or hi, right? It's a very harsh sound that I don't know what's going on here. It's like, oh my God, if you think about it. You have to relax, all right? You relax completely. All you do is you open your mouth and you just blow out the air. This is it. No more tension, no more extra effort, nothing. So this is the case where you don't have to do anything extra, right? You just go like, right? This is it. This is actually it. So what it should sound like is hello, right? It's very relaxed. It's not a harsh hello, right? You just go hello. So it's easier, right? Hey, hi. How, as in how's it going? How are you doing? Hit. Let's try other words. Hen, hook, hook. Or hot, hot. I'm not going hot, right? Hot potato. Ham, ham. And of course, there's also a case when we do say the H sound no matter the way we say it, but we're not supposed to, right? So there is a silent H in some words, and you're not supposed to say anything here. You just drop it. So we don't go like honest or honor. We go honest, honor, hour. Yeah, it's exactly like the hour word, like hour something, but it's hour, the time, hour. But it's not in every word, right? So we don't say house, right? It's house. No, literally, like, yeah, it was yesterday that there was one of my students at private accent coaching, and he was, he was telling me about the school teacher that he had in school, and he was like, yeah, she said house, and that was such a bad Russian accent. But yeah, you do say the H. Just that in some words it's silent H. All right, so we've covered 3 sounds that we don't have in Russian. We don't have in Russian, but they do exist in English, and we replace them with the sounds we do have that sound similar, and that creates confusion. That creates the accent. The other 2 things that I want to talk to you about, if you're in a rush, there are just 2 things. They are in the category of the habits, the pronunciation habits we have in our language, and for some reason, it might be unconsciously, we think that this is the way it works in English, but most of the times it doesn't. So here are the main mistakes. For example, in Russian, we don't have short or long vowels. We only have soft and hard consonants and this kind of stuff. We don't have short and long vowels. So we think it's the same thing. But think of these words. The words live and leave sound totally different. And a lot of you guys say them completely the same because we just have the E sound. That's it. There's no difference. But there is a difference. It's not about just the length. Actually, it's not about the length at all. It's about the quality of the sound. But for some reason, they're called short and long vowels. So we have a short I sound. We don't have it completely, like at all. Like you have to do some, you have to have some mental tricks in order to produce the sound correctly if you're Russian. Live. It's not leave, it's not lev, it's live. Then we have the leave. It's kind of a prolonged, long vowel. E. It's kind of a more tense Russian E, kind of longer, sort of like that. Not telling you anything, there's a lot more to it, but still, try to feel the difference, the contrast. Try to say them differently. You're not supposed to say them the same. Live, leave. The same goes for the pair bed and bad. Bed, bad. Completely different sounds. I'm pretty sure you say bed and bed. Bed girl. The girl that stays in bed all the time. In bed all the time. Bad. Right, so there are differences, right? And this is one of the most common Russian mistakes as well. It's like a general thing. Next comes the unvoicing of the voiced consonants, right? So there is a typo, right? I made a mistake here. So what I wanted to say is that bed sounds like bet, right? When you unvoice it and you say the T instead of a D, right? Because that's what we do in Russian. We don't say dub, we say dup. Or we don't say drug, we say druk, right? That's what we do. And we, for some reason, we think that's the way it works in English, but it doesn't, right? So there are different words. The words are different. Bed and bet. Or bat and bad, right? As in Batman. A lot of people say played and plate the same way. But this is the thing. This is what happens. And this creates confusion. This creates an accent. So this is it. All right, guys. So today we've covered the most common pronunciation mistakes that Russian speakers make. And of course, there's a lot more. There's a whole course that is all about it. But these are the harshest ones, I guess. If you fix these ones, you're going to sound much more clearly, much more beautifully, and it's not going to sound like a typical Russian accent. There's a lot more, but still, these are the harshest ones I could think of right now. If you want to go further, if you want to not just fix your pronunciation mistakes, but also if you want to, sound more beautifully, enjoy the way you sound. Get a pronunciation like in the original English, right? We all like the language because we like the way it sounds. Sometimes we just need to learn the language, but a lot of times we just like the way it sounds. And that's a way for you to enjoy the way you speak. And there is as I told you before, I guess, there's a trick to effective communication, to building more rapport with native speakers, is to try to meet the expectations of the standard, of a standard speech that people have in their heads, right? You're going to build more rapport, build more trusting relationships, whether it's work, romantic relationships, doesn't matter. There is a research on how accent affects the way you make the first impression of people. So, and the research showed that people with a really thick foreign accent are less trusted. Yeah, so I'm not saying that our accent is bad. It's just, it's okay, right? But when you're a beginner, if you want to go further, if you want to understand the language better, if you want to connect with the language better, if you want to feel the language better, then that's the way to go. And then it starts feeling like it's not a language that you borrow from someone. That's your own language as well, sort of. So yeah, guys, check out the link in the description down below. There's a link to AmericanAccent.ru where you can read all the details of the course and join the course. We're starting really soon. It's October 2nd that we start. We're going to have 2 classes every week for a month. And this month is going to be one of the most effective months in your language learning, because we're going to completely transform your pronunciation habits, right? We're going to learn everything that you need in order to sound more like a native speaker. Yeah, so gonna read your comments if there's anything I missed. The word particularly, now video. Okay, I changed the video. That's your problem. I have good connection. Everything is all right except this. I came to a conclusion that the more you go with non-native speaking first, the more they understand. Thanks for the particularly even typing this tortures my tongue. Bad. How do you differentiate men and man? Yeah, men and man is the same thing, right? So we have two different sounds. There's an sound, a more relaxed, a kind of a short sound, and there's an right? You have to drop your jaw more. There's a bit more tension there, It's a back vowel. So a lot of things, and we go into more detail in the full course because I don't have any more time. But yeah, they are completely different sounds. But mostly we replace it with because that's what we have in Russian. Pronouncing bed and bad ain't same. Yeah, it's ain't same, man. That's the thing. Yeah. So I guess I didn't miss anything. All right. So guys, if there are any more questions that you want to ask me, maybe about the course, maybe about the stuff that we've covered today, let me know in the comments. I'm waiting for, I guess 2 more minutes or a minute, and we're going to end the streaming. Yeah. So he explains that. Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy we were able to make this work today because I've actually tried multiple times before going live. Tried it in this community, but we had some really serious technical issues because of the sound. I was too stupid to figure out how to figure it out. Thanks a lot. It was useful. Goodbye. Yeah. See you later, man. All right, guys. So I hope it was useful for you all. And wish to see you in the course. If you want to go further, if you want to learn more stuff, there's a lot you can learn. There's a lot of stuff that they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you anywhere. And there is one more thing I want to say. That there's actually a lot of information you may find, about the language, about something about the accent, about anything. There is internet right now, but it's creating even more confusion because you're getting a tip here, you're getting a tip there, and you just don't get the full picture, right? And only with the full picture you can totally transform and change the way you sound. You don't change it if you don't have the full picture. And this is what we do. Getting a full picture of an accent is pretty difficult when you don't have the structure. And in the course, American Accent for Russian Speakers, we've created a structure that divides all the information necessary for getting American accent into 4 blocks. We start with the real basics, which are the sounds of American English. We're gonna cover all the sounds, all the vowel, consonant sounds, and then we go into more difficult stuff, like linking words, speaking more natural, intonation, rhythm patterns, and then the last block of information we have, it's a lesson that is all dedicated to imitating, putting it all into practice, imitating native speakers. So we're going to have a recording of a native speaker. We're going to imitate it. We're going to note down everything we notice. But now you've learned it, right? Now you've learned it. And this is what people might tell you. You don't need a course. You don't need any accent coach. And if you want to improve your accent, just imitate the native speakers. That's what I did. But here's a problem. As you've seen before, we have completely different sounds, completely different sound system, a lot of things that are so different that you will not even be able to notice it when you're just listening to native speakers. You're not able to imitate thoroughly, but once you've learned it, you're able to notice a lot more things, and that lets you imitate native speakers more, and then you get an awesome native-like accent. What it's going to give you, there's a lot of things. There's more confidence, there's more confident rapport, understanding. You understand native speakers more, a lot of things. Man, it's just, you got to check it out yourself. I can't There's going to be another streaming just all about the advantages of accent coaching, getting a native flag accent. There's a lot of things, man. But yeah, all right. I guess this was